There is a quiet, heavy exhaustion that comes from being the person who always understands. You are likely the one who holds the emotional weight of your family. You are the one who stays late to fix a mistake you did not make. You are the one who lends money to friends, watching your own savings stagnate while they spend freely, yet you feel guilty asking to be repaid. You give until you are hollow, and in return, you seem to attract people who only know how to take. You might wonder why the universe punishes your good heart, but ancient wisdom offers a startling truth. You are not attracting toxic people because you are kind. You are attracting them because you are unguarded. Modern conditioning has confused being nice with being good, but they are not the same. By the end of this journey, you will learn why your open door is acting as an invitation to chaos, and how to close it not with anger, but with the unstoppable power of nature itself. First, we must dismantle a lie you have been told since childhood. You were taught that to be virtuous is to be agreeable. You were trained to smile when you are uncomfortable, to say yes when your soul screams no, and to smooth over conflict at the expense of your own truth. You call this being a good person. However, the Taoist masters distinguish sharply between true virtue, known as Ti, and social compliance. Ti is not politeness. Ti is integrity. It is the raw, authentic power of a living thing that is totally aligned with its own nature. A tiger has Ti not because it tries to please the jungle, but because it is unapologetically a tiger. The sun has Ti because it burns without asking for permission. When you trade your authenticity for approval, you are not practicing virtue. You are practicing submission. Submission is the scent that predators track. This creates the painful dynamic between the so-called empath and the narcissist. If you identify as an empath, listen closely. You may believe your high sensitivity is a gift of healing, and it can be, but without a strong container, your empathy is simply a lack of skin. In the Taoist view, nature seeks balance. If you present yourself as a void, a person who has no needs, no boundaries, and no solid identity, you create a vacuum in the social atmosphere. Physics dictates that a vacuum must be filled. Who rushes in to fill the space where your personality should be? The person who is full of themselves, the controller, the taker. The narcissist does not target you because they are an evil mastermind. They target you because you are an open vessel. You signal to the world that you are willing to carry baggage that does not belong to you. The Taoists call this state Ziran. It translates to self-so, or naturalness. It is the state of being exactly what you are, without performance. Consider the trees and the rivers. They do not apologize for taking up space. They do not shrink to make others comfortable. When you engage in social masking, pretending to like people who mistreat you, or nodding along to ideas you despise, you violate your Ziran. You interrupt your own energy flow. This interruption creates a weakness in your spirit. It is like a crack in the foundation of a house. You might paint over it with a smile, but the structural integrity is gone. Toxic personalities are incredibly attuned to this frequency of inauthenticity. They know that a person who is comfortable lying to themselves to keep the peace will be very easy to manipulate. Pay attention to this warning. The cost of being nice is often the loss of your own reality. You spend so much time adjusting your frequency to match the room that you forget your own song. You become a mirror for everyone else's ego, and a mirror has no face of its own. To stop attracting those who use you, stop being so usable. Stop prioritizing the comfort of others over the truth of your own existence. Learn the difference between being a garden with a gate and a public park where anyone can walk on the grass. The master storyteller Zhuangzi explains this power through the useless tree, a narrative that turns our modern obsession with value completely upside down. A carpenter named Shi was on a journey to the state of Qi. As he arrived at a village shrine, he saw a massive oak tree. It was ancient and colossal. Its trunk was so wide that a bull could hide behind it, and it was 100 spans around. Its branches were so large they could shade thousands of cattle, and they reached up to touch the clouds. It was a spectacle of nature, and crowds of people gathered to stare at it in awe. However, Carpenter Shu did not stop. He glanced at the tree once, shook his head with disdain, and walked on without breaking his stride. His apprentice was shocked. He ran around the tree 3 times, breathless with admiration, and then chased after his master. "Master," the apprentice panted, "since I first picked up an axe, I have never seen such beautiful timber. Why did you not stop to look at it? Why did you walk away?" Carpenter Shu replied coldly, "Stop talking about it. It is a worthless tree. Make a boat from it, and it will sink within days. Make a coffin, and it will rot quickly. Make a vessel, and it will crack. Make a door, and it will ooze sap. Make a beam, and it will be infested with insects. It is timber of no use. That is why it has been able to live so long. If it were useful, it would have been cut down centuries ago." That night, the great oak tree appeared to Carpenter Shu in a dream. The tree spoke with a voice like the grinding of deep roots against stone. "What are you comparing me to?" the tree asked. "Are you comparing me to your useful trees? Look at the pear tree, the orange tree, the apple tree. As soon as their fruit is ripe, they are torn apart. Their large branches are broken by the weight of climbers, and their small branches are snapped by those reaching for fruit. Their utility makes their lives miserable. They die mid-journey because they are useful to the world." The tree continued, "I have spent a long time trying to be useless. I was almost destroyed several times, but now I have achieved it. This uselessness is of great use to me. If I had been useful to you, would I have been allowed to grow this large? Look closely. This is a mirror for your own life. You live in a world that rewards the savior complex. You are taught that your worth is measured by how much you can provide for others. You want to be the fruit tree. You want to be the useful timber that supports the needs of your friends, partners, and bosses. But look at what happens to the fruit tree in the story. It is stripped. It is broken. It is exhausted. The savior complex is the compulsion to be useful to everyone except yourself. When you constantly offer your resources, your time, your money, your emotional energy to those who are chaotic, you are shouting to the world, "I am good timber! Cut me down! Use me to build your house!" And the toxic person, like the carpenter, is simply looking for materials. There is a profound safety in being unusable to the toxic ego. This does not mean you are lazy, unkind, or unloving. It means you do not offer the specific resource that the predator feeds on. You do not offer blind validation. You do not offer endless patience for bad behavior. You do not offer a dumping ground for drama. Refuse to be a utensil for others. Become like the great oak. Become majestic. Provide shade, yes, but on your own terms. Stand tall because you have not allowed yourself to be chopped up into firewood to keep others warm. The lesson is clear. Stop trying to prove your worth by how much you can endure. Being useless to a narcissist is the ultimate act of self-preservation. To navigate relationships, apply the Taoist principle of Wu Wei. Often translated as non-action in the context of relationships, Wu Wei is better understood as non-forcing or effortless action. Analyze your current interactions. You are likely operating in a state of high friction. You are leaning forward. You are over-explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are trying to manage the emotions of everyone in the room. This is the opposite of Wu Wei. This is forcing. And in the laws of physics, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The more you push for approval, the more it retreats from you. Think of social dynamics as a weather system. When you are needy, when you are desperate to be seen as the good person, you create a low-pressure system, a vacuum. This is not just psychology, it is natural law. A vacuum pulls. When you lack self-worth, you become a suction force that pulls in high-pressure systems. Who are the high-pressure systems? They are the dominators, the people with excessive, chaotic energy. Your internal emptiness is a magnetic field that attracts control. You are not unlucky in love or friendship. You are simply witnessing atmospheric physics. You create the void, and the storm rushes in to fill it. How do you change the atmospheric pressure of your life? Stop chasing likability and start cultivating T. T is your inner potency. It is the charismatic power that comes from being centered in your own reality. A person with high TE does not need to extract value from others, nor do they rush to give their value away to buy safety. They are self-contained. They are like a mountain. The mountain does not chase the clouds. It sits, and the clouds move around it. When you cultivate T, you stop leaning forward. You lean back. You wait. You observe. You allow silence to exist in a conversation without rushing to fill it with nervous laughter. You allow someone to be disappointed in you without rushing to fix their feelings. This shift is critical. When you stop trying to manage how others perceive you, you signal that you are full. You are no longer a vacuum. And when you are full, the controller has nowhere to latch onto. A predator cannot grip a surface that is perfectly smooth and solid. They look for the cracks of insecurity. Cultivating T means becoming comfortable with being misunderstood. The need to be understood is a form of control. You are trying to control the other person's mind. Give that up. Let them think what they will. Your power does not come from their consensus. It comes from your alignment with the Tao. Start small. When you feel the urge to over-explain why you cannot attend an event, stop. Simply say, "I cannot make it." Feel the burn of the silence that follows. That burning sensation is not you dying. It is your T growing. You are sealing the leaks in your vessel. You are becoming solid. To practice solidity, look to the element of water. In Taoism, water is the supreme teacher of power. It is soft, yet it carves through solid rock. It yields, yet it is impenetrable. You cannot hurt water. If you punch it, it moves aside and then immediately reforms. This is how your boundaries must be. Not like a stone wall which is brittle and can be smashed, but like water. A water boundary is fluid but firm. It does not argue. When a rock falls into a river, the river does not scream at the rock. It does not try to convince the rock to move. It simply flows around it. When a toxic person tries to provoke you, do not become a wall. Do not argue back with logic, for they are not operating on logic. Be water. Let their words pass through you. Offer a neutral response. "I hear that you are upset." And then, flow on. Do not engage. Do not absorb. Visualize the concept of the empty boat. Imagine you are rowing a boat across a foggy lake. Suddenly, another boat crashes into yours. You are filled with rage. You scream, "Watch where you are going, you fool!" But then, the fog clears, and you see that the other boat is empty. It was just drifting on the current. Instantly, your anger vanishes. You cannot be angry at an empty boat. The truth is, most people are empty boats. They are not steering their lives with conscious intent. They are being driven by the currents of their past trauma, their conditioning, and their own suffering. When a toxic person crashes into you, it is rarely personal. They are an empty boat, drifting violently. If you understand this, you stop taking the collision personally. You stop trying to shout at the empty boat. You simply steer around it. Practicing detachment requires 3 steps. First, use the sacred pause. When someone demands something from you, never answer immediately. Create a gap. Say, "I will check my schedule and get back to you." That space is where your freedom lives. It breaks the automatic habit of compliance. Second, remove the because. When you say no, do not offer an excuse. "No, I cannot do that because I have a headache and my car is broken." Stop. This gives them material to argue with. A simple, "No, that does not work for me," is a complete sentence. It is a wall of water, soft, polite, but unmovable. Third, observe your body. When you are around certain people, does your stomach tighten? Do your shoulders rise? This is your Ziran speaking to you. Your body knows the truth before your mind admits it. Trust the nausea. It is your intuition protecting you from a bad investment. By practicing these small detachments, you reclaim your energy. You stop being a source of fuel for others and start becoming the engine of your own life. A powerful echo of these ideas exists in the psychology of Carl Jung. Jung spoke of the persona and the shadow. The persona is the mask you wear to be a good citizen, the nice, compliant face you show the world. The shadow is everything you repress: your aggression, your selfishness, your power to say no. Jung warned that the more you identify with the bright, nice persona, the darker and denser your shadow becomes. By trying to be only light, you lose your wholeness. You become flat and one-dimensional. The toxic people in your life are often acting out the shadow that you refuse to own. They are aggressive because you are too passive. They are selfish because you are too selfless. To return to your original nature, integrate your shadow. Realize that the capacity for aggression is necessary for peace. A harmless rabbit is not peaceful. It is terrified. A warrior who keeps his sword sheathed is peaceful. You must find your sword. You must reclaim the part of you that can be disagreeable, that can be difficult, that can be useless to others. When you do this, a paradox occurs. You become less nice, but you become truly kind. You stop enabling people. You stop acting out of guilt. Your yes becomes gold because it is rare and honest. Your no becomes a shield that protects your sanity. You begin to attract a different caliber of person. You attract those who respect strength, not those who exploit weakness. You attract those who want to walk beside you, not those who want to climb on your back. Return to the image of the great oak tree. It stands alone, but it is not lonely. It is full of life. It is rooted in the earth and reaching for the heavens, unconcerned with the carpenter's opinion. It is safe because it is true to itself. Be the tree. Be the rock in the river. Be the empty boat that flows with the Tao. Thank you for walking this path with us. If this message resonated with your spirit, consider subscribing to Taoist Diary. We are building a library of wisdom for the modern soul, and your presence here matters. Reflect on this. You are not here to be a resource for the world's consumption. You are here to unfold your own mystery. Guard your energy as if it were the most precious currency on earth, for it is the only thing that is truly yours.